If you wish to speak to any item on the agenda or during the public comment portion of the meeting, please fill out a speaker card. Each person addressing the board shall have 3 minutes to complete his or her comments on each agenda item for which he or she has filled out a card. The chair has the discretion to determine or alter the time limits on any agenda item. The Board of County Commissioners requests that speakers appearing under the public comment section of the agenda limit their comments or presentations to matters relating to county business that are within the board's control, authority, and jurisdiction.
Good morning and welcome to the October 28th regular meeting for the Board of County Commissioners. We have a quorum. I'll call the meeting to order. We have an invocation today provided by Robbie Hidalgo with Teen Missions Instructional. Sir, you're recognized.
I'd like to thank the commissioners for the opportunity to pray today. Let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for those that are here to do business. We give you the glory and honor for Brevard County and the standard that's being set here today. We pray, Lord, that you would purify our motives today when we speak, Lord, that we would do so with the intent, Lord, to do business well here today for the greater good, Lord. We ask, Lord, that there would be consensus in this room today, Lord. We pray in the mighty name of Jesus, Lord, for those that are in Jamaica right now looking at a Category 5 hurricane, Lord, and Melissa, Lord. We ask you would protect them, Lord. As a county, Lord, who's received a gracious amount of rain over the last 2 days, Lord, we pray you would be with those who are still trying to tend to the damage that has been done in this county through rainfall, Lord. We pray, Lord, that they would not weary, but that you would strengthen them today, Lord. We ask that we could set a standard in this place, Lord, on how we deal with the water resource in this county, Lord. We pray, Lord, for vision as the people would suffer without it, Lord. We pray, Lord, it would be written down and made plain so that others may run after it. We give you the glory and honor for this meeting at the designated time and place. We pray, Lord, for a hundredfold fruit here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, sir, very much. Commissioner Delaney for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, commissioners, we have minutes for approval from the April 22nd regular meeting, the August 14th Melbourne-Tillman public hearing, the August 26th regular meeting, and the September 4th zoning meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Delaney. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Altman.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
I thought you were saying motion. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much to the staff. The meeting minutes are now clickable online for people who are interested and want to read our minutes from the agenda. So I just wanted to give a shout out to our staff. Thank you for making that happen.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Delaney. I believe a second by Commissioner Altman. Clerk will call the roll on the minutes.
Commissioner Delaney?
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson?
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Altman?
Yes.
Chairman Feltner?
Yes, we'll show those adopted. Thank you, commissioners. We're going to go on to the resolutions. We have 3 today. I'm going to go first. And did I see Martha here for Martha? You're welcome to bring your group. Welcome again. We have I have a resolution today for Native American Heritage Month. I'll read that. We'll pass it. You know the routine, and then you'll speak for us. Whereas the contributions of Native Americans and their descendants have significantly enhanced the freedom, growth, prosperity, and greatness of the United States, and whereas Native American Heritage Month was adopted by President H.W. Bush in August of 1990, designating the month of November as a time to celebrate and honor Native Americans. And whereas the customs and traditions of Native and Indigenous Americans are respected and celebrated as an integral part of a rich cultural heritage across the United States, and whereas the celebration of Native American Heritage Month creates an opportune time to educate our public about the many tribes and to raise awareness of the unique contributions and challenges of Native people, both historically and present, and whereas in honor of Native American Heritage Month, Native Heritage Gathering, Inc. will host the 17th Annual Native Rhythms Festival from November 14th through the 16th at Wickham Park, honoring the indigenous peoples of the Americas through music, dance, arts, and cultural exhibits. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, does hereby recognize the month of November 2025 as Native American Heritage Month, done, ordered, and adopted in regular session this 28th day of October 2025. I'll make that motion. And I have a second by Commissioner Atkinson. Clerk will call the roll on that one.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes. Martha, thank you. You're recognized.
We thank you so much for this honor today, and I'd like to introduce to you Claire Ellis, who will tell us a little bit more about the festival, followed by Bart Lipovsky, who will give us a little rendition of what you're going to hear at Native Rhythms Festival this year. So Claire, come and tell us a little more about our festival.
Thank you, Martha. It's a beautiful, family-friendly, free event in Wickham Park, November 14th through the 16th. It's a happy place because family-friendly in the Native American world means there is no alcohol at a Native event. So it's really, really family-friendly. Bring a couple lawn chairs or a blanket. Enjoy the incredible performers we're bringing from all over the country. The Native Village, free workshops, wonderful Native vendors. It's a beautiful time to come and just enjoy yourself and learn more about Native Americans. And we look forward to seeing everyone there. Thank you.
And now Bart.
The Native American flute is a handmade flute. This one happens to be made by a person in the audience here, John Ellis. And the woodpecker is actually part of the airflow system on the flute. It's not just a decoration, but it reflects the myth that the woodpeckers made holes in a hollow tree limb. I'm going to play a little bit of the Cherokee morning song. And should I play into the mic and the commission? Yes?
I think into the mic, sir, if you'd like for it to be on YouTube. How's that?
Well,
okay. That's your choice. All right. All right. Well done. I have a resolution for you, okay? All right.
Thank you again so very much.
Commissioner Altman, sir, you have a resolution today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Going from Native American culture to space. This month, we have a week out of the month of October, we recognize World Space Week. Whereas each October World Space Week highlights the contributions of space science and technology to the betterment of the human condition and offers an occasion for recognizing the diverse communities that power the Space Coast innovation. And whereas the Artemis Accords, a set of principles that promotes international cooperation and outlines practices and responsible and peaceful space exploration by many, many nations across the world, was signed by over 50 countries and demonstrates a shared commitment to sustainable space activity as a global effort. Whereas Brevard County, home to the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and a vibrant commercial space ecosystem, benefits from the talents of both U.S. and international residents who contribute to the research, technology development, launch, and operations in space education. And whereas the Space Coast has proudly launched numerous international crews throughout the years on NASA, military, and commercial missions, and whereas Brevard County recognizes both the U.S. and international space professionals, including NASA astronauts, scientific leaders, and policymakers that strengthen Americans' space entrepreneurship and enterprise by advancing human spaceflight and exploration. Whereas the Board of County Commission supports inclusive recognition of all communities, those who work in heritage strength, the Brevard quality of life, and advance its leadership in aerospace and innovation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County does hereby recognize World Space Week and encourages county departments, schools, libraries, and civic partners to highlight the contributions made by all countries during World Space Week with a focus on STEM education and community engagement. Done so in order this 28th day of October. I want to mention that the heart of this is the Artemis Accords, and we will see an Artemis launch beginning of next year. We're excited about Artemis 2. This, even though we do have the government shut down and we couldn't have someone from NASA here today, Artemis is still up and running. That is deemed to be critical. So we do have the NASA employees working on Artemis. We do have the visitors still open. But it's definitely at a reduced level up at the Space Center. But thanks for our commercial providers and the fact that they've designated Artemis to be mission critical. It's still in action.
Very good. Is that your motion, sir?
That's my motion.
Okay.
Second.
Yes.
All right. Have a motion by Commissioner Altman. I have a second by Commissioner Atkinson. Clerk will call the roll.
Delaney.
That second
me.
was by Delaney.
No,
correct?
sorry. Well, I heard it. I heard it in two places.
Okay.
There you go.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes. We'll show that passes 5-0. Sir, do you have a group to present that to today? Okay. All right. We'll go on to the next one then. And Jack, I see you out there. You can come up on behalf of the family. I have a resolution this morning for Ron DiMenna. I'm sure as many of you know that he was the founder of Ron John's, did a lot of other things in the county. Whereas Ron DiMenna wanted to bring surfing to the masses and was a pioneer in recognizing that surfing and the beach captivated people everywhere, and whereas Ron founded Ron John Surf Shop in 1959 on the New Jersey shore and moved to Cocoa Beach in 1963, opening the flagship store, and whereas over the next 6 decades, Ron John Surf Shop expanded into a worldwide phenomenon, and whereas Ron, with his wife Linde, founded Surfing's Evolution and Preservation Foundation, a 501c3 charitable organization that supports missions to protect the health of Florida's beaches and address issues such as coastal pollution and beach ecology, and through the sale of the Endless Summer Specialty license plate, the foundation financially supports programs, events, and activities that impact protection for future generations to enjoy. And whereas the New York Times wrote that Ron was a key figure in surfing's expansion into mainstream culture, with a life said to be the stuff of folklore. And whereas Ron DiMenna's vision and legacy will live on for generations through Ron John's Surf Shop and Surfing's Evolution and Preservation Foundation, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida does hereby proclaim October 28, 2025 to be designated as a day of honoring Ron DiMenna, done, ordered, and adopted in regular session this 28th day of October 2025. And I'll make the motion for that. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Altman. Clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman.
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes. And Jack, you want to say some words?
Sure. My name's Jack Kirschenbaum. I'm on the board of directors of Ron John's. Malcolm, my brother, is the chairman of the board and a trustee on the foundation's board. And he couldn't be here this morning, so he sent me. You're stuck with me for 30 seconds. When Ron was inducted into the East Coast Hall of Fame, being a man of very few words, he said, "I'm honored and thank you." Because I'm a lawyer, I have to say a couple more words than that. It's always an honor and a privilege to appear before this commission, and today I'm here on behalf of Ron and the family, Ron John's, and the foundation. You all are much younger, but in the olden days, surfing was perceived to be beatniks and beach bums, and then Gidget occurred. And Ron was the one that saw that Gidget was going to bring surfing into the mainstream. And he opened up a shop in New Jersey, and then when he came down here a few years later, he saw that Cocoa Beach looked just like his shore at Long Beach Island in New Jersey, and he opened up a shop. It had dirt floors, it had orange crates for shelves, and he had a few surfboards and a few T-shirts. A personal note, my brother took me in there when I was 10. I bought a surfboard, and I haven't stopped surfing since. But today the surf is really good, so I'm going to be brief and wrap this up. Get out of here and go surfing. Ron John's has become a national power in the surf industry. When people come to Cocoa Beach in Brevard County, they think Ron John's. And I know Ron and Lynn are humbled and appreciate this honor very, very much. It's very special to them, and they say thank you, and I'm here to say thank you for them. Thanks so very much.
And I'll say a couple of quick things. You're right. I'm younger, although I'm feeling older these days. But, when I was a kid, we always went to go get a spring break shirt there right away. That was the first order of business. And I kind of keep up that tradition when I have people visiting Brevard County and they have kids. I'm like, come on, we'll go to Ron John's and we'll get them a spring break shirt. I didn't have it in the resolution there, but I was thinking, reading that, he was a very big supporter of the National Kidney Foundation. Yes. And the Surf Fest that's there. I knew Rich Salick, and I think Ron's contribution to that was very important. I have a resolution for you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, very much.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, before we get into consent, we're going to go to Jim, and he's going to give us an update on things that have happened in the this weekend. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioners. I just kind of want to go through Sunday's storm response and some of our recovery actions. It's a couple pages, if you could bear with me. So about in the 2 o'clock hour on Sunday, the weather advisory indicated rainstorm chances with locally heavy rain up to 4 inches possible. That's when we started receiving our first notice. I do want to add the National Weather Service is a wonderful partner. We're very fortunate to have them in our county. John's in communication with all the time, but that's when we started being aware of some issues. 5 o'clock, John was in contact, and John Scott is our Emergency Management Director. John was in contact with the Weather Service and texted our Public Works Director, Mark Bernath, that we have rainfall amounts of 5 inches already being reported in the city of Titusville. No issues were reported at the time, but Road and Bridge was put on alert to prepare for some early morning full assessments on Monday. About 8:15, John received the first call about water in a home. 8:30, John was in contact with me. I got hold of Don Walker. At 8:45, then we received a request from City of Titusville for mutual aid, which we responded to. And at 9 o'clock on Sunday, John activated the EOC to include representatives from Public Works, Communications, EOC staff, of course, Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and Brevard County Fire Rescue. Also notified was Parks and Recreation, Housing and Human Services, and the Red Cross in case for possible shelter actions. 9:25, Public Works, it was requested Public Works mobilize the teams that we were planning to have going on Monday, mobilize the teams to get ahead of the anticipated issues that were starting to be reported. A little after 10:30, Road and Bridge mobilized teams to Titusville, Cocoa, Merritt Island for damage assessment and triage issues. They also checked and started pumps throughout the county. Throughout the night and Monday, they responded to many issues, monitoring staff gauges, closed roads, pumping water, and made temporary repairs for roadways. 10:40, communications at 3OEC posted on Facebook and on X the county crisis track line for residents to report damage if their home was damaged or flooded by the storm. Hang on one second, let me get my page. By 2:15, most but not all of those activated were released because they're no longer responding at that time to life safety issues. We still man the EOC from 24 hours a day. At 7 a.m., Don Walker is at EOC preparing the update that we submitted to all the commissioners and charter officers and county directors of our planned response actions for Monday, including damage assessment recovery efforts and additional action items deemed necessary. We posted through social media flood and safety information and monitor comments throughout the day. A little bit after 7 o'clock, Mark Bernath provided you all a comprehensive update on flood conditions, flooded roads, downed trees, and impacts from other rain events. And I believe Mark also then updated you all another 3 times during the day to let you know where we were. Overnight, from Sunday evening and through Monday, we received 560 flood-related calls. The peak volume at the time was 100 calls to 911 in an hour. Monday morning, utility services, they were out removing, removing excess rainwater from around manholes, discharging it downstreams. Crews were doing it to relieve pressure in the system to make sure the water wouldn't come back up at the homes. So then the way they did was accessing manholes and preventing the backup of sewage in the homes. Altogether, utility services has employed 17 4,000-gallon pumper trucks and 1 8,000-gallon tanker truck to help manage the levels in their systems. Planning and development coordinated with EOC and sent out damage assessment teams. And this is something we do after every event, any emergency event. We had 6 teams out there consisting of 2 people. They go out and they've been trained to assess damage using our crisis track software. Includes just about everybody from the department. We had additional help from the outside to help with us. We reported that in. Natural Resources dispatched 8 stormwater assessment and response teams to document floodwaters and potential damage to county infrastructures. Those areas included West Cocoa, Merritt Island, Windover Farms, Mims, Scottsmore, Port St. John, June Park Police Foundation, Lamplighter Village, and Melbourne Beach. Fire Rescue moved about a dozen units north on Sunday and Monday in response to the high water. And they list, I can't even tell you all the different kinds of trucks they have listed here between brush trucks, high water trucks, different fire engines. And just a little side note, I want to put in it kind of appropriate that we're recognizing today. Today is National First Responder Day. So, I mean, just a reminder of, they do a lot of stuff for us, our emergency first responders. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office is working with the municipalities that were impacted by the unexpected weather event. I know the sheriff was in contact with John throughout the event. And what happened Sunday and into Monday was a perfect example why we team our Emergency Operations Center with the Sheriff's Office. We have the Unified Communications Center. I was there seeing folks going back and forth between the two of it, but the coordination of the EOC, the Brevard County Fire Rescue, and the Sheriff's Office, that's vital to our safety and to our emergency response to our citizens. So we thank everybody working there. Our other responding agencies that are involved in coordination, they're great partners with us with emergency management, include the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, Team Rubicon. They were all out in the field on Monday, included opening of a shelter for flood victims by the Red Cross at a church in Titusville. Mark continued, I have on here, I mentioned earlier, Mark continued to keep everybody updated, and we're still working on that. And then on the screen, Logan has up on the screen for us, for residents who may be watching or folks that know citizens that were impacted or affected, there's our crisis track assessment report. We asked people that report in. I forget the number, it was hundreds. When I was checked yesterday, they have reported in. What this does, this also helps. We don't think we're going to reach a level of federal assistance, but this helps us with the reporting of it. And then if citizens are calling into any of your offices looking for help, or they're calling any of the county offices, we ask that they contact 211, and 211 will get them the right information. So somebody, and I would love to give them credit, but I can't remember who said it. Somebody said it was responding to a tornado, but I mean, that's how the immediate response was. Sunday afternoon, we just knew it was going to rain. We have no idea it was going to rain this much. So I want to thank everybody, the coordinations, the long hours. It was responding to a tornado with rains from a hurricane. So everybody did a really nice job to help folks out, and we'll still be working this for days and weeks on.
Just real quick, when we talk about help from the federal government with things like this, what is the threshold? I'm sorry, John, I don't mean to put you on the spot
that's
with
what we
that.
have the expert here for. He'll be able to tell you that, yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. So when we talk about federal response, we're talking about federal assistance, correct?
Yes, sir.
So there are two kinds of federal assistance. There's public assistance, which is on the government nonprofit side of the house. That covers things like protective actions, infrastructure. And then there's individual assistance, which is for impacted residents. While there's no hard and fast threshold for individual assistance, because it's very much about the damage to a community, when we talk about flooding, we're talking about hundreds of homes needing to be impacted for a community our side, with significant water in the homes. And what's counterintuitive for many of us, especially if you're someone who's impacted by what a lot of water means, when we talk about federal government, we talk about water at or above outlets. So that's 12 plus inches. It's not a lot of comfort to folks who have 4 or 6 inches to hear that described as, in the federal term, minor damage. We know that's significant damage to both their homes and their lives. But when we're talking about how we get federal assistance for these kinds of events, you're talking probably 150 plus homes with 12 inches plus water in it. That's the general threshold for where we'll be.
Okay.
I would also add, it's why it's so important that we have volunteer groups like Jim covered, because for these kinds of events, which are very community focused, it really is us as a community who has to come together and sort of recover and rebuild ourselves locally.
Okay. I know it's unplanned. Go ahead. No, it's all right. We wanted to bring it up early. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm choosing my words here really carefully because I know that our people really worked very hard over the weekend and sprung into action. And there was a lot of people who worked extremely hard trying to get everything going. Living in it was a little different. It was a bit chaotic. People didn't know what was happening. People didn't know what to do, where to go. The communication, maybe I felt like wasn't clear on the severity. I don't think that this is going to be the last time we see a storm like this. I think that these events are going to get more and more frequent. People in my community their homes have flooded, 2, 3, 4 times already this year since I've been in the seat. And I keep being told that it's, this is a 100-year storm, or, this is a a freak thing. And what happens when the freak things happen every other month? And, you know, North Brevard cannot continue to take the entire region's stormwater. People can't afford to rebuild their homes 2, 3, 4 times in a year. I think that we need to really rethink the way that we're planning, not only development-wise, but stormwater-wise, infrastructure, emergency response. I think that we need to have more severe language when we do let people know, rather than just like flood watch. You know, that's, I mean, people in Florida have heard that their whole, I mean, those of us who've lived here in Florida, we've heard that term, you know, 1,000 times, and nothing's ever, you know, really come of it in this area. But what was happening on Saturday night, I mean, people were trapped in, you know, window high water in their vehicles. One of my staff members had to wade through waist high water to rescue her teenager, because emergency services were dealing with flipped over vehicles. And it's nobody's fault. But what I'm saying is that I think the time has come that we need to stop thinking of these events as, oh, it's just, that one's just a fluke, because these flukes are happening regularly. And I'm not quite sure how to, and I'm looking at us, you know, I'm not quite sure how do we get there? How do we, like, do we do workshops? Do we talk about this stuff? How do we work together as a group here to make sure that District 1 is not, you know, getting slammed every time? And how do we get the county functioning in a way that that we're not just on survival mode all the time?
Well, I have a couple thoughts. First of all, responding to changing weather events, you know, whether that's a new trend, to your point there, you know, it is something that you establish over time. So, like you said, we're having more and more. It's not just afternoon storms. It's afternoon storms with multiple inches of rain, and I think, so we understand the severity of things. Sykes Creek had 15 inches of rain.
Oh yeah.
We've had hurricanes in Brevard County. Maybe I'll suggest that in the last 15 years didn't have 15 inches of rain. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely an extreme event. But, you know, back to our prior conversation about what the state's taking up this year and our comprehensive plan, and that's all well known now that we're going to have to revisit that. But we're waiting on the state. I think after that's done, we'll just have much better answers and can move forward. I'll split it with you. I'm willing to do a workshop on those kinds of issues after we've got something that we know the state has taken up. Whether they do it, they don't do it, we have some kind of definitive answer during session. So I think that's a very big variable today. That's hard to sort of work around.
And I did just want to mention one of the things is, because I've spoken to our state reps about this at length, because I know that, you know, I myself am a advocate of property rights. I know you all are too, and so are our state reps. And I know that a lot of these laws, the intention is to make sure that people's property rights are protected. And one of the things that I've kind of worked through with some of the state reps is that it's not that development as a whole needs to stop. It's that we need to develop in a way that the land can handle. So, and some of those things like the rezoning, that's totally in our purview. So upping density and things like that, I don't think that that is something that is a smart thing to do at this time when we can't even handle the stormwater we have today. And that doesn't get us in trouble with the state laws that are passed because it's not taking anything from these people. It's not a Bert Harris when it comes to that type of stuff. It's only if something's zoned for a certain density and we're trying to take away what they're already allowed to do. And so I'm hoping that I can have y'all's support moving forward when it comes to zoning issues, specifically in my district, because, you know, I represent my district, y'all represent your districts. I know that we represent the county as a whole together, but we all know our areas, you know, and what our areas can handle. And District 1 can't handle this. They can't handle all this stormwater anymore. And there's only very few places in Brevard County that have expansive land left. And that's one of those places is my district. And the water's got to go somewhere. And we are going to be the next Edgewater. We're going to be the next Volusia County if we don't have a real plan moving forward.
Okay.
Commissioners, thank you for just going off a little bit of the agenda to bring it up. So I appreciate it, and thanks to John.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to consent. And Commissioners, I'll tell you, after consent, we do have a school board member here today. The superintendent is here, and we have some of their staff. So we're going to, after consent, we're going to go to their 2 items so we can return them to their workday. Is there anything to take off of consent today?
I just want to take off F8 just to be fair to everybody else that we've appointed.
Okay. I'll tell you what. We can do that. Let's pass the rest of consent. Let's go to the 2 school items, and then we'll take that up. Okay. Give them a minute.
Sure.
All right. So for the rest of consent, minus F8, I had a motion to
Second.
approve by Commissioner Atkinson. I have a second by Commissioner Delaney. Clerk will call the roll, minus F8.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes, we'll show that approved. Thank you, Commissioners. Now let's do this out of, I did tell the school folks we would, and I do have some, I'm sorry, I have some G section of the cards here, so we're going to do those real quick. I think is it Connery Larson? Does that sound right? What is it? Yeah, Courtney Larson. It's okay.
I have some handouts, if I could. Let me just give these to you guys.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for your time. My name is Courtney. I am the founder of Isla's Journey Rescue here in Brevard County. I am not here to argue or accuse. I am here because animals in our publicly funded shelter are suffering in ways that are preventable, and people in our community are grieving because of it. I want to share a few names. This is because this is personal, not abstract. Grayson, A young cane corso who came in terrified, underweight, and scarred. He needed time, medical treatment, and stability. He did not receive it. Cuddles. Heartworm positive, but treatable. She had a confirmed adopter and a treatment plan, but she never made it out. Sir Nacho. A senior dog who could have gone home, but a basic microchip and reunification steps were not followed. That failure was not medical, it was administrative. This was preventable. And it is not just the dogs. Some of the worst suffering is happening to these cats. We have cats leaving the shelter with infected spay and neuter incisions, with untreated open wounds, with active fungal and skin infections. And in one documented case, a neutered cat with a large open neck wound whose antibiotics were discontinued remained like that for weeks. And then there's Snowflake, a 6-month-old indoor kitten, spayed and ear-tipped, released outside before her owner even knew she was there at the shelter. Her family searched for her for weeks. She has still not been found. I want to say this clearly. The employees inside the shelter are not the problem. They are overwhelmed, under-resourced, and not supported by the system above them, because this is not a funding issue. The county budget allocates $500,000 for pharmaceuticals, yet heartworm-positive dogs and sick cats are going untreated. $90,000 for animal food, despite longstanding donation agreements and constant community food donations. The money exists. The animals are not receiving the care that money is supposed to provide. That means that there is an oversight failure. And right now, rescues, volunteers, and even former staff are afraid to speak because they fear retaliation, removal of access, targeting, or harassment for raising concerns. That culture of fear prevents accountability. So today I'm asking for 2 actions. 1, an independent review and audit of medical practices, euthanasia decisions, pharmaceutical use, and intake/return to field protocols. 2, the formation of a community oversight council made up of veterinarians, rescues, and residents so the public has a voice in how animals are treated in our shelter. We are not here to divide this community. We are here to protect it and protect the animals who cannot speak for themselves. We all want a shelter we can be proud of, and we can have one if we begin with oversight, transparency, and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. Marnie Bowles? Morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. My name is Marnie Bowles, and I'm a Brevard County resident. I'm here about the Brevard County Sheriff's Office and Animal Shelter, specifically the ethical care, medical decision-making, and transparency. I first raised these concerns locally, and I contacted all Brevard County commissioners, and only Commissioner Delaney responded. Mayor McDermott in Indy Atlantic forwarded my note to Mr. Sheriff Wayne Ivey, and in writing, the sheriff said he found, quote, nothing to support the issues raised, and that policies will, quote, not be changing, and that daily medical care is overseen by 3 full-time veterinarians under Director Joe Hillebrand. However, there does remain a significant gap between those assurances and what citizens, adopters, rescues, and former volunteers continue to report. These are consistent, recurring patterns and not isolated incidents across unrelated parties. The most common concerns are animals with treatable conditions not receiving timely care, euthanasia decisions made without first exhausting treatment alternatives, return to field releases without adequate medical assessment, limited public data transparency, and fear of retaliation for speaking out. These reports align with specific documented cases. One example is intake number 988684, a domestic female shorthair named Anna Mae. She was reportedly approved for return to field. Shelter notes attributed her to labored breathing due to stress, and a local rescuer intervened before release and paid for thoracic x-rays at a private clinic. The x-rays showed extensive lung masses consistent with lung cancer, and she had not yet been spayed at the time she was released. This raises foundational questions. What criteria determine medical stability for return to field? Are diagnostics like X-ray or ultrasound available and used before release decisions? Who has authority to make those determinations and what training is required? And what review mechanism exists to catch errors and prevent recurrence? If diagnostics aren't happening before outdoor release, medically fragile animals may be suffering unnecessarily or being released with life-limiting conditions. I'm respectfully asking for state-level support in 3 ways: a brief 15 to 20-minute discussion with your offices about possible oversight pathways, consideration of a third-party operational review focused on medical treatment protocols, use and tracking of pharmaceuticals, return to field eligibility criteria and documentation, and euthanasia decision documentation. And number 3, increased transparency, monthly shelter data on intake, adoptions, transfers, returns to owner, and euthanasia. Plain language, standard operating procedures, and a quarterly community advisory review. These are collaborative preventative steps, not punitive ones, and my goal is certainly to not assign blame, but to ensure that humane, medically responsible, and publicly accountable care in a government-ran, taxpayer-funded facility is occurring. Thank you for your time, service, and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have documentation.
Okay. Michael Branson, Lieutenant.
Good morning. Before I start my comment, I think this is a good opportunity based on the last 2 public comments to volunteer. You can confirm with Chief or Director Wallace. We have the ability to read chips at fire stations. I'm not sure the status of that program. I know in the Suntree Corridor where I work, those programs are live and well. If you have concerns, we have a machine, a book, a cheater code on how those things works, and just swing by and we'll help those people out on the chip readers and all that type of stuff. My name is Mike Bramson. I'm the Brevard County Firefighters Union President, and I thank you for letting me come up here, Chairman, Board, staff. It's been, as the County Manager has said, it's been a unique week. So I'd like to thank you for allowing all the wonderful things that have been said by the County Manager in that what we would call an after-action review summary. It's appreciative to hear what has to happen. We also acknowledge and recognize the comments that says the term was rethink. The union does agree on that. We think that when you get into some of the rethinking possibilities, you go into prioritization. And I do know there's other items on the agenda, but I'm not here to speak on that. What I am here to speak about is a couple other issues. I want to thank many of the staff members over the past couple of months who have met with me to ask questions, to ask for clarification, and to verify what is the union's position and what are we doing moving forward. I'd like to then, after the county manager spoke with us, offer the opportunity to anybody in the staff or any of the commissioners to give me a call if you would like to know where we're at. If you want a different type of landscape of engaging with the union, I have 14 people on my e-board, and we can make an arrangement for you to meet with one of them to get a summary of where we're at. What our concern is going into the end of the year is short-term fixes that turn into long-term fixes. And so I just want to clarify what is our concern. The short-term fixes are not working. Mandatory overtime, third-party transport services, 2-man engines, dispatch services. It's just doing so much more with so much less. Then we have an event that was unprecedented, unpredicted, and unmeasured. It's one of these retroactive, hey, we got more water in an hour than we're supposed to get for the entire event. That just strains us. Chief will come up here and talk. He's in the same position I am. So I just want to address that if we have short-term fixes, you have to exit the short-term fixes to engage into a long-term fixes. And any of the short-term fixes that are in place are not adequate to bring public safety to where it needs to be for the population and the needs of the citizens of Brevard County. And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and offer the opportunity for meetings and to engage and thank everybody for meeting with us. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Delaney.
Are you referring to short-term fixes like the ambulance situation that we have now with Coastal and Brevard County Rescue?
That is one. So that was something that came out of April when we closed a hospital, where the tone of why there's a difference in conversation about that is, it is not my opinion, it is not the position of our union to think that the hospital that was closed in Rockledge was a frivolous hospital. It was critical for the needs of the people in that area. It's critical for the needs of the people all around. We had some fantastically horrible events over the weekend. If that hospital was in place, it would have received those people. Now, unfortunately, some of the outcomes would not have changed from that hospital, and some of the medical doctors can explain that, but I don't live in that world. I live in pre-hospital. And that world means get them to a place that has the cool tools. We only have the 10-minute tools. And we don't agree with that. And it's 6 months since that hospital, and so those short-term fixes are becoming long-term, and they're not adequate. One of the other things to talk about, and we'll get a little bit of leniency here, is standalone hospitals. We would love to see a map of that. Like, where are they going to be? When are they going to be? How much money is it going to cost the taxpayers? How much are we going to augment it? What are the tax abatements? Like, we would really like to be part of that conversation. So please reach out. I got 14 board members. If you want to engage on a different person at a different level, we'll make that happen.
If I could, Chair.
Go ahead.
I just want to share this. I get messages all the time, but this one in particular, the resident gave me permission to share. Their husband had a stroke in my district. It took an ambulance over 20 minutes to get to them, which we all know a stroke every second counts, basically. And luckily, they were okay at the end of this, but I agree with you. What's happening right now is not okay, and there are things that are being missed. And, you know, we definitely need more people, more ambulances on the road. We need to, you know, do better here. And so I'm open to any and all communication to get this going in a better way.
Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, I have one reply.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
From my understanding and some of the sidewalk conversations I had, it does sound like political restraints have been reduced and we're moving into a better position. It does take conversations. I think the big conversation is, as other commissioners have said before, any of you were in place kicking that can hit that wall. It does sound like conversations are happening, and that's why I'm here to reassure that we're here to talk. I think time is of the essence, and we ran out of time. Thank you.
I'll say something just real quick to you, Mike. I've talked to Health First a lot recently, and they have obviously they're in this with you, right? They're getting a lot more traffic to Vera Hospital than they were before. And we've talked about how they've expanded sort of makeshift emergency corridor and such. And I asked on your behalf about the amount of time holding the wall, and they assure me that they're working on that. And they're also formulating some plans for standalone ER type situations in Brevard, and how also urgent care facilities can do some of that things. So there is a lot of conversation. I'll commit to you that going forward with them, I'm certainly happy to include you in that.
I appreciate that. Just hugging the wall and those things that you're talking about are wonderful. We agree with them. But those are the short-term fixes we're talking about. Putting extra beds in the hallway, doing these type of things. All we're doing is changing the statistics of what's called wall time. We appreciate that, but I mean, I'm not going to pull the numbers. It doesn't matter. This past weekend was just terrible, and we're going to learn a lot from it. We don't need to pull the numbers, but you have to then take priority. And when you get into wall times and priorities, that's a short-term fix. It's not for the best interest of the greater good, and we just don't have the resources. And so I appreciate that inclusion. We'd be more than happy, and we look forward to the sitting down and putting this all together.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
I have a question.
Commissioner Altman, sir.
You mentioned this past weekend was terrible. What are the specifics of that?
So why I say it was terrible, just coming off a little bit of emotion, which I bring with me everywhere I go.
Right.
I worked a couple 48s. I got another 48 coming because I, too, am still in the field. I'm a lieutenant at Station 80, and I backfill some of the overtimes and try to prevent mandatory overtime when we have a lot of people on workers' comp. Holiday season, this week is Halloween. Have a lot of guys with a lot of young kids, so I try to fill those gaps. And so, not to be morbid, but you did ask. At Shift Exchange, we're getting a lot of pass downs. Hey, I ran 2 fatalities. I ran 3 fatalities. I ran 4 fatalities. We had this terrible boating accident that has ties to the relationship of public safety. These things are becoming very difficult to manage. I really appreciate, especially the county manager's openness to engage with our health and wellness activities. We know we're getting a lot of support. We were able to put a person in position for those type of things, but you can only take so much of this mental abuse. You can only take so much when you have to cycle out. We didn't know, we didn't expect. I know you've seen the pictures of where some of our apparatus ended. They are not submarines, they're not jeeps, they're not supposed to go to some of these places. I'm not here to defend any action, but I'm here to tell you, in the heat of the moment, when you have a call and you have a piece of paper and a computer and it says, do this, you're like, I'll take my consequences later, and this truck may end up in the river, but I'm going to try to do the best I can with the resources we have. We had one truck left over after that weekend. We have one backup truck left over that I moved out of and said, hey, man, where's the truck? And our fantastic mechanics said, hey, Mike, what are you doing? I was like, hey, we'll swap out. It's like, could you swap out ASAP? Cool, man, we'll just postpone dinner. Everybody get a snack. We did what we were supposed to do. We shuttled the truck where it needed to be. And luckily, the other trucks were fixed on site. It was just an alternator. Our mechanics did some awesome stuff, put a new alternator in, whatever needs to happen, and they were back on the road. But you understand that all that gets funneled through not just me, our command staff, our fire chief, our public safety director. All that gets funneled to a singularity. We have 460 people with the cities. We talked about mutual aid. We talked about all this other stuff. You talked about 200 calls that gets funneled through 911. That also goes through us as well. So it was an emotional response. I didn't know how to write a different term. So maybe a wrong term to use, but that's how I speak. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Kelly Coverhaw. I'm sorry. Hannah? Hannah? Okay.
Coverhaw.
All right.
I am Kelly Coverhaw. I am a Merritt Island resident for over 40 years. I serve as the District 2 chairperson for the Dredging Committee, and I'm also on the Brevard Marine Advisory Council. I'm asking that you, as a commission, look at rescinding the full ordinance amendment 2022-13. It was put in place in 2022, and it's my personal belief that there are many issues with the ordinance, and here are a few that I see as problematic. One, term limits. Limiting appointees to a specified term is not necessarily a good idea when you look at the legacy knowledge that many residents contribute. This can be an issue when you have new residents that do not know the history of the surrounding areas. Number two, meeting frequency. Before this policy was put in place, each committee met at the necessary frequency. Sometimes 4 meetings a year is not sufficient to keep the citizenry advised, and sometimes it is, but regulating the frequency is counterproductive. And the third issue that I saw with this was the time and location. Having limits on time of day meetings limits the cross type of participants. Working people that have valuable contributions will not be able to attend meetings during normal business hours. We cannot rely solely on our retired population for these committees. While this may have had good intentions, I think that some of the repercussions were not well thought out. So I am asking you to look at either rescinding or revising the entire amendment. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, commissioners, as promised, we're going to go to J4. J4.
All right, J4.
J4.
Yep, sir. J4, Mr. Chair, is the school board's direction to the Board of County Commissioners to call a referendum election for a renewal of the school board's additional 1 mil ad valorem tax millage for school operations. Under Florida statutes, school boards may direct county commissions to call such an election. The maximum time period for such a levy, if approved by the voters, is up to 4 years or until changed by another millage election, whichever is earlier. Most recently, in November 2022, the voters of Brevard County approved an additional 1 mil ad valorem tax millage for school operations for 4 years. At a regular meeting this September, the school board adopted Resolution 2026-02. That resolution calls for a renewal of the expiring 1 mil levy and directs the Board of County Commissioners to place the required referendum election on the ballot of the general election to be held on November 3, 2026. The agenda item includes a copy of the school board's resolution as well as a proposed resolution of the Board of County Commissioners directing the Supervisor of Elections to place that on the ballot as requested. In considering this item, the board's not considering the wisdom of the proposed 1 mil ad valorem millage renewal. Rather, if the school board satisfied the applicable statutory requirements, the board has a ministerial duty to place the referendum election on the ballot as directed. In my opinion, the school board has met those requirements.
Okay, we don't have any cards on this. Are there questions? You have a question? No. Okay, no questions. Is there any discussion on the item? No.
I've got discussion.
Okay.
By us approving this, we're not condemning it or condoning it, correct?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay, it's up to the taxpayers to vote, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is it fair to say, Morris, we simply have to go through this process before the Supervisor of Elections can put it on the ballot?
That's correct. It's a statutory requirement. You're really a pass-through for the school board's direction.
And it's their right to put these issues before the voter?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Any other discussion on the item? We're on J4. Is there a motion on the item?
Move to approve.
I thought you were going to say that. Okay. A motion by Commissioner Delaney. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Altman. Clerk will call the roll on J4.
Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson.
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Altman.
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes, we'll show that approved 5-0. We'll go to J5. Morris.
J5 is similar. The school board in this case requests that the Board of County Commissioners adopt a resolution calling a referendum election for the electors of the county to vote whether to renew the half-cent sales surtax for school capital outlay expenditures that was approved by the voters in 2014 and again in 2020. Those were both 6-year approvals. This time the school board's requesting that the surtax be approved for the maximum time period of 10 years. Again, this is provided by statute. The school board in each county may levy a discretionary sales tax and may request that the Board of County Commissioners place the item on the ballot. I will note a very slight difference between this and the prior item in that the statutory language with the school board's millage levy is school board directs county commission to place it on the ballot. In this case, we've used the language request. I believe it's absolutely clear under the law that the school board has the ability to have this placed on the ballot and that the Board of County Commissioners has a duty to place it on the ballot. I will note that arguably there's some authorities out there in the form of an Attorney General opinion and a couple circuit court cases that are not binding on this board and wouldn't be dispositive of the matter if there were an issue, but arguably at least the Board of County Commissioners, not school board, has discretion as to which general election ballot that is placed on. However, it is clear that it must be placed on the ballot, and I couldn't guarantee you the outcome if the board didn't place it on the November 2026 ballot as requested.
I think we understand that that's what they're looking to do. Commissioner Delaney.
I was wondering if somebody from the school board would mind coming up and talking to us about some of the changes with charter schools possibly joining our schools or filling some of the empty space and how that kind of works. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm Mark Rendell, Superintendent, Brevard Public Schools. So the request to have the half-cent sales surtax renewed is for school capital outlay. Charter schools do get a portion of that based on their enrollment. Your question appears to be about the Schools of Hope legislation, which means if we have buildings that are under-enrolled, charter schools can operate inside those buildings. It's not really affected by this. This millage will be used for us to maintain and build new facilities.
Are the charter schools able to say to the Brevard County School Board, we need these capital improvements and you all have to provide those improvements? And does it shift the need of our community schools? You know what I mean?
For the charters that are operating on their own, with their own building and everything, they maintain their facilities to their standards.
For our buildings, we have to maintain them to certain standards, statutory requirements. So if it was a Schools of Hope situation where a charter were operating inside of one of our schools, we would still be maintaining that building to our standards anyway, which are the state requirements.
But they can't come in and say, we want gold floors, and now you have to provide them.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just want to make sure that that's on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
That was all. Thank you so much.
Okay, any other questions since we have the superintendent up here? No? No? Okay.
I just want to publicly say thank you so much for everything that you do.
All right, thanks.
You guys do a great job.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I don't think I have any cards in this one either. We're in discussion. Is there any discussion on the item? Is there a motion on the item? I have a
Second.
motion by Commissioner Atkinson. I have a second by Commissioner Delaney. Clerk will call the roll on J5.
Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson.
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Altman.
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes, we'll show that approved 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners. All right, let's go back to F8. F8. Thanks, everybody. Go educate our children. That's why we tried to get you out of here early. All right. Okay. Commissioner Delaney, you asked that this be taken off. I'll go to you first.
Sure, thank you. I just wanted to pull this just to stay consistent with what I've done in the past with our other promotions and whatnot. Ian and Billy and Juanita. I'm probably missing a couple over the past year. So thank you, Jill, for sitting through this, but I would like to make a motion, move to approve.
Okay. No other questions or discussion? I have a motion by Commissioner Delaney on F8. Is there a second? I have a second by Commissioner Atkinson. Clerk will call the roll on F8.
Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson.
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Altman.
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Enthusiastically, yes. Jill, congratulations. I hope it's everything you dreamed. Okay, congratulations, seriously, to Jill Hayes. She does a wonderful job for the county, and she's already a wonderful assistant county manager. All right, we're going to go to H1, Commissioners H1. And I see Amanda's in the box.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item H1 is a public interest determination for wetland impacts at the Linde plant in Mims. There's an expansion there. They'll be impacting 1.07 acres and offsetting that with mitigation at a Brevard County mitigation bank. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. I believe the consultant is here if you have questions of them.
All right, questions for Amanda? Are there questions for Amanda? Okay, we got two cards. We'll go to the cards, okay? I think it's Dory Yoslin. I'm having a hard time with, I might need the extra magnifying glasses today. Here.
It's
That you?
Derek, maybe Derek? Dave? Okay.
Is it just for questions?
It's part of Linde.
Oh,
Just answer
oh,
questions.
okay, we're going to hold on to you here, okay. Shelley Owenbrink? Owenbrink. You're also here for questions, okay. All right, are there questions then, Commissioners, since we have two people from the plant? Okay. Commissioner Goodson, sir.
Yes. If you're moving, you're mitigating land, correct? And the land is in Farmington, correct?
Farmington Mitigation Bank is the.
Yes. Yes, correct.
Ma'am, maybe you should come up
Yeah,
so we
you
can
need
get this
to
on
come
the
up.
mic, okay?
And
And just
if
say your name one more time for the record, please.
My name is Shelby Owenbrink. I'm an environmental consultant with Kimley Horn and Associates.
Okay, very good.
And
Commissioner
if you-
Goodson.
Okay, if you've heard during this meeting talk about flooding with new construction, correct?
I have.
And you're buying mitigation land in Farmington, correct?
Farmington Mitigation Bank, yes.
Yes, okay. So tell me, then how are you going to help the Commissioner in District 1 not flood adjacent land?
As the environmental consultant, I'm here to speak on the wetland impacts that are associated with this. We do have a full civil engineering team in the project as well that's helping to make sure we don't have floodplain impacts on-site or off-site as well.
So is your engineer here today to answer questions like that?
My engineer is not here.
Okay. Did you have flooding in the last weekend of all the rains?
Did my project site have flooding?
Yes.
So the existing project is a filled raised platform.
Correct.
With some percolation ponds. The majority of our development is occurring on the existing fill pad with some wetland impacts associated. Those wetlands will be brought up and filled to avoid floodplain impacts from the future development.
Did it answer the question I asked you? If you're going to raise the land 3 feet and then do a pond, then do an overflow structure out of that pond, did you have flooding, or are you going to have flooding for the commissioner in District 1?
We are designing the stormwater pond and raising the site to meet all floodplain requirements for this development. We're currently in site plan application review, and we are in discussions with the flooding department as well to make sure we meet all requirements. If we meet all those requirements, my understanding is we should not have floodplain impacts on our site or adjacent.
I would agree you wouldn't have it on your site, but once you have a 100-year storm or more, hurricane or tornado, the outflow of your pond is going somewhere, and that's on your neighbors. Would you agree with that?
Well, the neighbor to the south is the existing Linde plant that is in operation. To the east, we have undeveloped wetlands, which aren't planned to be impacted at any point. So water retention can absolutely take on more there. And east of that, we have the river itself. To the north and to the west.
The river meaning St. John's, or the river meaning Indian River?
Indian River.
So you're allowed to outflow to the river?
I'm not incredibly familiar with the flow pattern for our development. I'm just speaking to the adjacent lands.
Aren't you glad I'm asking you questions?
It's fantastic. It's great to meet you.
I thought so. Is there anybody else with you that can answer questions? Nope, don't, okay. As long as District 1's happy with the outflow and the overflow of your lake into the public river or somewhere else, I have no issues. I just want everybody to understand that your water's got to go somewhere once it fills up on your land.
Yes, and we are leaving 5 acres of wetlands unimpacted on this parcel. We have needs that go outside of our existing footprint of cleared and modified area, so we're doing minor impacts to the adjacent wetlands to fit everything that we need to fit in that area. But the majority of our site is going to remain in wetlands that will be able to do the natural water retention and all of that fantastic stuff that wetlands offer us in this area.
All right, question, you stay right there. Commissioner, District 1, are you happy with this? Are you satisfied with the overflow that will occur sometime in our lifetime?
With this project, this location, this thing, yes.
Okay.
Because Amanda has also mentioned that the natural resources is satisfied with what they're doing, and this particular area, like you had mentioned, doesn't have any neighbors really. It's all undeveloped land, and this is not an area that is at extensive risk, I would say.
Okay. Now, ma'am, just 1 minute. Natural resources, could you speak to this question? Over time, when you build and I'm not knocking the facility, I'm all for it, I'm just asking you. 20 years from now, when a subdivision comes next door, you're not going to be able to use the excuse, are you going to be able to use the excuse, okay, wait a minute, you can't raise it to that elevation, the house pads?
So you're asking about future developments, whether they'll have to meet the standards at that time?
I'm asking you, can you, in future developments, raise the house pads 3 foot over the crown of the road to assure not flooding the subdivision, but maybe the water going right or left or going back to Linde? I don't know. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I mean, future developments will have to meet the stormwater criteria at that time, and those standards are being increased on December 27th of this year. So any future developments would have to assure.
Okay, and right now, what is the elevation of above the crown of the road?
We're looking at the design. It's a little bit difficult to see, but they do have a pond designed here. The design right now is still preliminary. They will have to meet all the criteria before they can be approved. So this is just a wetland impact determination.
And you will agree that the design of the pond would have to be an elevation that the water would outflow into somebody's ditch or somewhere else. Would that be correct?
I'm not sure where the outflow, we can't really see where the current outflow design is. Darcy, can you see more than I can?
But that elevation will come back for approval, right?
Well, it will be approved.
Yeah.
Administratively, not back to the board, yes.
Sorry, Chair. So may I ask another question? For follow-up. Okay. So with that all being said, and I understand you're out in the middle of a cow pasture or something, or whatever, forest and wetlands and all that, because there's not much out there. But as you go through life and you approve development there, I don't want to come back and hear you can't do it because of yada this, yada that. Because if they're going to do it, they need to plan for the future, and I'm talking 40 years out, something that you're happy with. Do they not?
They will have to meet the criteria. Once they do, administratively, we have to approve it. So we're not really looking 40 years ahead at this point. We're looking at the regulations that we have in hand.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Bring the other guy next time.
All
He'll
right.
come with me.
Okay, I think we're done with questions. Okay, that was it for the cards. We're in discussion on the item. Anyone in discussion? No?
Chair?
All right,
The
Commissioner
only
Gibson?
discussion I've got is if the Commissioner of District 1 is happy with her proposal.
I think she said that. I believe she answered that, sir.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Is there a
I'll
motion?
move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Delaney. I have a second by Commissioner Altman. Clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes, and we will show that passes 5-0. Okay, Commissioners, we're going to go to J1.
Morning, Commissioners. Item J1 is coming from the TDC. It's a recommendation to provide Waterway Warriors $7,500 for a project that they have on the Pineda Causeway, a barrel program. It'll pay for the emptying of the barrels on a regular basis.
Okay, I consider this my item as well. I'm happy to try to answer questions. TDC took this up, and the Waterway Warriors came. It's no secret. I think a lot of this group, and I think the Causeways have never looked better. And so we want to keep the barrel program going. They have someone who's basically in-kinding their service to the tune of $7,500, and so we're looking for a match to keep that going. That's the item. Are there any questions on that? Or can I try to answer questions? I also have Waterway Warriors here.
So I'm wondering who actually is doing that now?
Sharon? That's okay. She can answer specifics better than I can. This is Sharon Knoll with the Waterway Warriors.
Sharon Knoll with the Waterway Warriors. Who is doing it right now? The contractor is Right on Junk Removal, and they are in their donation service time frame.
What is the time frame of picking up the cans and emptying them?
It is done 60 times a year, so it is done every single weekend and then twice on the major holidays. That's due to the data that we have collected over the last years. His schedule is due to the data that we have collected showing that we need 2 cleanups on the weekends, holiday weekends.
Okay, and that's for all the causeways?
It's just for the Pineda
Just
Causeway.
Pineda, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And so that we clarify here real quick, they're cleanups that they do where they go out and they pick up, and so when you're on Pineda and you see the bags by the sign, that you have worked out with an FDOT contractor. So that's through FDOT. They have a contractor. They come pick it up. So they bag it, they put it there, and that's a result of their cleanups. The barrel program that they did is what we're talking about today, and so it's a bit much for KBB, and so they've worked this out, and that's what the $7,500 is going to augment. Any other questions on that? No?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
I think this is great, and thank you for bringing it forward.
Okay, very good. Okay, I don't think we have any other discussion on it? No? I'll make the motion on this one. I'm happy to. Is there a second? Have a second by Commissioner Atkinson. Clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner Delaney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson,
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman. Yes. Chairman Feltner.
Yes, and thank you, Sharon, to your group. Waterway Warriors does a great thing on behalf of the county out there every day. Thank you. We'll go to J2, Commissioners, and I think I see Chief and Colonel Wallace. Gentlemen.
Good morning. Item J2, before I get into item J2, to springboard off a lot of the conversation this afternoon, I'll talk about the elephant in the room for BCFR, the viral video of the ambulance that the union president talked about. He talked about what those guys and girls were doing and the response that we had this weekend. Terrible, crazy conditions. We're not going after them because as somebody, I was working shoulder to shoulder with the BCSO Ag Marine at the same time in the middle of the St. John's, coordinating those efforts as we were doing a large area search. The Ag Marine airboat would come over to me asking for resources to send to the north end. So as we were doing a search and rescue mission in the St. John's River around midnight, we were still coordinating efforts with the Ag Marine Sheriff's Office to go north. It was quite a dynamic Sunday in my 26 years to be working 2 large events like that with awesome shoulder-to-shoulder communication and work was amazing. But my point to say that was the visibility that I witnessed and the weather that I witnessed. I don't think, those folks were doing the best they could to respond to an event with less than 0 visibility. And another great point by the union president is our fleet guys, they worked their tails off with those trucks going through the water. And so trucks are a hard thing to keep going, and we always need trucks. So that's why we are here for you today with item J2. Requesting allocation of fire control MSTU funds in the total amount of $5.5 million to approve the purchase of 4 Class A pumpers at the amount of $2.9 million, 1 Type 4 Wildland brush truck. And that Wildland brush truck is also, so brush fires and water events like this typically don't go hand in hand. So this Type 4 brush truck will also have the ability to forklift off the firefighting bed and then add on a high water vehicle rescue bed. Similar to the one Palm Bay sent us one up during the event. They had just recently purchased 2. SO has a few, but the newest models of those are ex-surplus military, and they're 1978 models. So parts and keeping them going is getting tough. This will be a newer model of that, and it'll allow us to do both things. And we're fortunate enough that when there's a lot of water, there's not brush fires, vice versa. As well as the beginning construction of Fire Station 27 in the Westport St. John Fay Lake Park area. Request authority to the county manager to execute all necessary budget amendments and other administrative actions necessary to complete this purchase.
All right. Questions for Chief or Matt Walls?
I have a question.
Commissioner Atkinson.
I just wanted to hear from you a little bit about the efforts that you're making to make sure that the equipment that we're buying, we can have repair, so that my question is, we don't have equipment, do we, that's going to not be repairable in a few years because of the company is...
So great, I'm glad you asked that question, and it allows me, I felt like I was talking too much already, but you asked a question that lets me put in a little more piece that I would like to. So the reason for this purchase and why it's important is we're still running frontline trucks that the vendor went out of business, the manufacturer went out of business in 2006. So the newest of those models is 20 years old. So it'll allow us to fix those and start flushing some of those out, although you may look at our boneyard. I don't surplus those. We keep them for parts. And we even help out other fire departments that are still trying to run those trucks. We've become somewhat of a parts depot for the Southeast. But that's, it's the right thing to do, to keep these trucks going and do our best to save money. And that's why these trucks right now are great, because they have a 180-day or less delivery time within the fire service community of building fire trucks. And I think all heavy equipment, even for solid waste and those guys, it's taken a long time to get big trucks. 36 to 48 months is some of the standard delivery time. But another great point to what you're saying is getting parts is we don't buy fire trucks that build proprietary, a lesson we learned with one manufacturer. Proprietary parts are terrible. They're costly, they're one-off. So the windshield is a Kenworth, the door handles are a Peterbilt, and I'm making that up a little bit, but that's how we purchase now.
I have another question, if I may.
She has follow-up.
I have a follow-up question. So buying these now, as opposed to buying them in 4 years or 5 years, I mean, we all know that everything bought later is more expensive. Any idea just how much more expensive could it be if we put this off? I know that's not an easy question.
So just in the history of almost 4 years as the fire chief, buying early, we've probably saved $2 million buying early. Ladder trucks, the ladder truck that we bought, the first thing I sat up here for as fire chief was to buy a 100-foot tower ladder truck at the tune of $1.3 million, and the one that you approved about 2 meetings ago is $2.2 million. So in the time that I've been your fire chief.
And an example I remember of this too is the hazmat truck, right, that you got, I think, about a year ago. That was a little bit early, but it was on the lot, and you got
it was about $800,000 saved on the hazmat truck that we bought early.
Yeah. So, questions? Or same? Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this. I always ask. Same drivetrain? Similar drivetrain?
Always.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good deal. Okay, I don't think I have any cards on this one, right? Okay, any discussion on this? Commissioner Delaney, are you in discussion?
Yes, thank you. I won't be able to support this today, and I just want to explain why. I feel like when we ask the public for, the raise for our fire assessment and the MSTU, I feel like we really need to fix the staffing issues. And until we are able to implement Kelly days or a 24/72 schedule, the recruitment efforts, while everybody's working very hard, until we have some kind of work-life balance element in that we can advertise, we're not going to get people fast enough. And so I personally believe we need to spend this money on implementing those work-life balance pieces into our contract, and that's just how I feel about it. So thank you.
All right. Other discussion on the item? Is there a motion on the item?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Atkinson. I have a second by Commissioner Altman. Clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner Delaney.
No.
Vice Chair Goodson.
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Altman.
Yes.
Chairman Feltner.
Yes, we'll show that approved. Okay, Commissioners, we're going to go to J3. And do have some cards on this one, Commissioners. Kathy, you're recognized.
Good morning, Commissioners. J3 is a request to acknowledge receipt of the 2025 County Advisory Board Annual Written Report and approve request for excusal dismissal due to absences for some members. Brevard County Code of Ordinance provides that all advisory boards shall submit an annual written report to the board at the beginning of the county's fiscal year. This item includes all the county's 34 advisory boards.
All right, questions for Kathy? No? We'll go to the cards. Barry. Sir, you're going to have to say your last name. I can't make it out. But you can say that when you're up here.
Hi, I'm Barry Forbes.
Okay.
My handwriting's not great.
Mine's not good.
Apparently
Mine's not good either.
I serve as the treasurer for the Brevard County Housing Finance Authority. And we got an opportunity to talk today, so we showed up. But not sure how many of you are very familiar with what we do, but our primary role is to manage the allocation of tax-free bond issues for the purpose of providing affordable housing here in Brevard County. And we do that to help support single-family construction for individuals and to help support commercial development of affordable housing as well. We're not the housing authority that manages public housing. We are the group that just manages that particular aspect of helping provide the residents here in Brevard County the ability to live somewhere in an affordable way. The there are a number of things that we have been able to do over the last several years and over the last decades. And what I think most people will remember are the first-time homebuyer programs, the bond issues, if you will. And that has become very difficult to do now. It's not economically feasible to do today because of where interest rates are. So a lot of the professionals in this field have come up with some creative ways to help. But the one thing I'm here to urge you to do is to support everything you can to help make housing affordable in Brevard County. We are in a crisis situation. I mean, if the interest rate on a home loan was 0, it's not what I would term affordable. So finding better ways and cheaper ways to build housing is paramount. So anything that you can do, I know we've talked a lot about stormwater and density and that type of thing, but for the right types of projects, I think we do need to weigh those things. So I'd urge you to do that. But be glad to answer any questions that you have about the authority. But appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today.
All right, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Golson.
Hello, I'm Kevin Golston, and I'm a member of the Citizens Budget Review Committee, and I appreciate your time, and I thank you for your interest. I want to talk a little bit about my experience on the board. When I joined, I had no idea how county budgets were made. I had no idea the funding cycles and all the different spending buckets. And the first 2 or 3 years, I learned a lot about how the county operates. And just to also add to that, I'm a business consultant. I help businesses with their efficiencies and productivity. So being able to apply my professional skills as a member has been very valuable, I think, to the committee. we've done some good things, I think. We've looked at a lot of places in the county budget, and some of them that are notable I want to mention to you was the health insurance. We spent, at least 4 or 5 sessions going through and hearing presentations from that department. And when I looked at the number of employees that are covered and what private businesses pay, I mean, it's very, very efficient. And I don't know how they can make it any more efficient. We looked at road maintenance. Of course, we're all driving around, we see potholes, we're like, hey, what's going on? We had several meetings with the public works people. And when we started, and I've been on the board 6 or 7 years now, there were a lot of roads that were in a bad condition. And further updates as it went through, and they had that grading scale, they worked miracles. And in looking at the building maintenance, the road maintenance, I said, well, what about matching grants? How does that work? And come to find out that there really wasn't a central repository or somebody focused on getting grants. Now, as a conservative, I don't want lots of free money, but if the federal government and the state government has allocated funds for certain purposes, why shouldn't our county get its fair share as much as anybody? And so y'all took the advice and you made a position about 2 years ago, I think, for someone to focus on grants. We had a presentation from this individual last summer, and it come to find out that they're managing something north of $30 million that it may have come in despite the focus, but the impact, I think, was positive. And so, I asked myself, well, what is it that we could do better? And one of the things that was mentioned earlier was this ordinance 2213, term limits and the only having 4 meetings a year. Many times we get into a topic, and now with 4 meetings a year, it takes us 2 years to dig into it. And I would recommend to you that you change that take the term limits off. Thank you very much for your time. I will need questions if you have about the committee, if anybody has any.
I don't hear any. I'll say to you, sir, that I do appreciate the many people who work for the county for free. It's hard to get people to work for the county for money. It's even harder to get them to work for the county for free. So I do appreciate every one of you. And I also do value the many years of experience that our board members have. It's invaluable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman,
sir.
I know it's the second time I've heard doing away with the term limits. I would be in favor of doing that.
I'll tell you, I think that's something that we could put on a future agenda if you'd like to do that, Commissioner.
Okay.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yep. Just because we're talking about this right now, the reason why I asked for this to be pulled is because this is one of the things that I campaigned on was breathing more life into our advisory boards. And I was planning on bringing forward some changes, but I'm happy to collaborate with the board to, bring forward all the ideas that we can pull together. And
I think all of those things
yeah.
could be future agenda items.
Okay.
Whatever I'm happy to discuss
Thank
it
you.
further. It's my opinion, and I understand it's well taken with the term limits because it's sometimes it's hard to get people to be on the boards. Also in these areas of specialty, so we have many of those areas, and so I really appreciate the folks who care enough about sometimes their industry to continue to serve on these boards sometimes for many years. And I always try to make it open to new folks, but oftentimes it just is that the folks who have worked in that for a long time are the ones who dedicate the time to making their own industry better. We still got some more cards here. Carrie Fink.
Yeah, is it okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. No, we don't like hearing from Dr. Potomsky at all. So,
the men in the white coats
yeah.
are coming for you guys, but don't get too scared. I'm, as chairman of the Brevard County Commission on Aging, I would like to present Curry Fink, who is chairman of our advocacy subcommittee, and he is a very much more eloquent speaker, and he's the best dressed guy in Brevard County. So I'm going to present Curry Fink.
And did you just have the raffle for the car?
We did.
Yeah, I'm
it was
sorry I
a
missed that
Melbourne
one.
resident who, so we've been very fortunate every year.
What was the car this year?
It's the winner's choice. AJ Hires makes 7 cars available.
Okay.
The winner's pick, we don't know. They're still deciding. So we'll put it out on our Facebook as soon as we know.
Very good.
Thank you.
Congratulations with that.
Yeah, it keeps our little charity running. I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard. Today, I am here to talk about the work that we do together with the chair of the Brevard Commission on Aging is Dr. Potomsky. Our role is we're 100% seniors all the time, and you already know 1 in 4 of us in Brevard County are age 65 plus, and you also know that 1 in 2 of us are over the age of 50. So by AARP definitions, they're going to send you a membership card the day you turn 50, whether you're insulted or not. And I always
50?
say this.
That's the new number? 50?
It is. 50 is the number. Although we say 80 is the new 60 now. Okay, it's a whole different deal. But let me just say this real quickly because we talk about this. Brevard County is gaining so many seniors every day, and it happens for 3 reasons. Number 1 is that more people are turning 65. It's 1 every 7 seconds nationally. So everybody is turning 65. But the other thing is people are just flat living longer. They used to stop down a national television show to honor the 2 people in America who turned 100. Today, there are many, many people, 100, who are seniors in our area. And then third, everybody's moving to Florida. So our role in Brevard Commission on Aging is to expand awareness of the value of seniors in our county, and we are committed really to 2 goals for next year. Number 1, we are launching a senior needs survey because we want to come back and assess what seniors are telling us. We're working with a lot of community partners, folks like Senior Life Magazine, Senior Scene Magazine. We're going to promote it. Aging Matters is going to promote it. Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation is going to promote it, but we want to hear what the pulse of seniors are asking us for. And then with the results of that, we're going to come back and ask you, the Board of Commissioners, to help us in a process of developing a county-wide aging plan. As one of the leading counties in terms of aging, I would love our goal collectively 5 years from now is people look at Brevard County and go, these people are taking good care of seniors. So that's what we're here to do. And so thank you for this time to share on that.
Very good, sir.
Thank you.
I'll use his last few seconds. That the Brevard Commission on Aging is co-sponsoring the 35th post-acute and long-term care continuum. So it's all of the health care from home care to hospice to assisted living to nursing homes to rehab centers. And that's going to be on November 19th. And it's a free educational event for anybody across the healthcare continuum. Anybody from the commission or folks would like to attend, you can register. Brevard County Commission on Aging is co-sponsoring it, along with the Brevard County Medical Directors Association. And all you could, to register, very simple, just go to bcmda.org, and you can register online, pick what meal you want. We have a 2-hour session where we have an exhibit hall, then we have 3-hour session where we have education for folks that are in any aspect of care of seniors in Brevard County.
And what's the venue? Where will it be hosted?
It'll be out at the Rialto Hilton in Melbourne.
Okay.
And our sheriff's department comes and presents the colors, and then we have someone sing the national anthem, and we have a reverend that's been in the service. We try to do this right after Veterans Day to honor the veterans, but also before Thanksgiving to give thanks to all the caregivers that take care of all of our seniors across Brevard County. So again, invitation, and it's November 19th. Exhibit hall is 4 to 6, and then the program is 6 to 9. So again, all are invited, and hope people that may be watching this, it's bcmda.org. Thank you very much.
You
for
might
your
be
time.
more optimistic about the number of people who watch a commission meeting than reality, but
Okay.
you did a good job with your plug there.
Thank you all.
All right. Don Dice? 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 Dice, sir. You're recognized.
Yeah, I'm Don Dice. I'm a member of the Sabre Indian River Lagoon Citizens Oversight Committee, and it's an advisory board to the County Commission through the Department of Natural Resource Management. You got our annual report, and you got written comments from me. But the focus of our COC is to restore the health of the Indian River Lagoon system. And our monthly meetings are an opportunity for the public to voice concerns and offer solutions. Each year we select projects for recommendation to the County Commission to be funded by the soil sales surtax. The committee reviews monthly financial reports, project progress reports, project performance, water quality monitoring data, and system status reports. Our product is the yearly project plan, which is like 400 pages long. I have a shortened version for anybody interested. It's a brochure that explains everything.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And it's for approval by the County Commission. You'll receive it early next year for the 2026 plan. Things of significance this year, turnover from members' term limits. But we're not complaining. It's 5 of the 7 voting members are new, so we spent a lot of time onboarding new members, and we kept 2 emeritus members as advisors. So that's an option for you in the future. New regulations have been passed by the state with time limits affecting improvements to water treatment, septic systems, and stormwater. So those were mentioned here. We have been seeing water quality improvements within the lagoon. Algal blooms are less intense, and seagrasses are returning to some areas of the IRL system. The projects are working, but we have a lot more work to do. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here today. John Hoppingarden.
Morning, Commission. How are you? I come to you as one of the individuals that serve on advisory boards. I'm from the private sector, and we're here to help. The discussion earlier about term limits, I firmly believe we should keep term limits on advisory boards because we need new people coming on the boards with new ideas, new views that we don't get when we have people that have been on boards for 10 to 12 years. They get really old and boring and stale. So I would recommend that if you decide to investigate term limits, that you think clearly that term limits are beneficial for our boards. I serve on 2 county boards, Planning and Zoning and Affordable Housing, and I also am the chairman for the ICOC for the school district on the half-penny tax. We just implemented on the ICOC term limits because we had members that have been there since the beginning of the referendum in 2014. One of my concerns is that how the commission receives our input on items that we have, for example, at Planning and Zoning. Do you watch the meetings that we have? Do you review the televised broadcast? Do you read our minutes? Because oftentimes I come here during your zoning sessions and the information that you're receiving is not what we had presented or agreed to in our meetings. So I'm not sure of the vehicle that you all are using to make your decisions. And it's a little concerning. Oftentimes, some of the presenters or the applicants will come up and talk a different story than what we've heard. And that's a little problematic. Maybe because we are the filter for y'all, and they realize that they have to change their tactics in order to get what they want. I don't know. But we want to be able to communicate more with you, and if we can help you in making your decisions on some of the things that we advise you about, we're here to help. And I enjoy my time on the boards. I think that we should have more people involved. I know In the affordable housing, we just changed over the entire board with new people who are very active, know what they're doing. The last commission changed the makeup of the Planning and Zoning Board. We now have 15 voting members. Sometimes we run out of chairs to seat them. So I would say that we're doing well with the advisory boards. Thank you for your time.
I'll say real quick, John, I do value, speaking for myself, the Planning and Zoning Board. I always ask what happened there. Do watch, and my staff watches it. We usually have it playing live, and you know I'm in this building. Sometimes I stick my head in there, but not very often do I walk into, to board meetings and such. I often describe your board, the Planning and Zoning one, as the oyster of the county's planning. So you do. I think Planning and Zoning does a really good job of filtering out a lot, so that when we do get to our Planning and Zoning meetings as a commission, we're really getting down to the essence of it. So for me, I do appreciate it very much.
It's our pleasure.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
thank
we
you.
have a couple more. Tom Kammer Dinner. Sir, I'm getting over a head cold, and I'm
You got it perfect.
not
That's great.
100%. So
I just said Tom, I got up.
it is phonetic.
So-
I'll give you that.
I was hearing the fire chief earlier talking about his fire trucks. I have an oven from 1978 that we still have.
I was going to say
So,
that
yeah.
the 78 model stuff will probably still work in an EMP event. So there's some irony in that one.
Yeah, we keep
Yeah.
our stuff as long as we can.
There you
So
go.
here to talk about, again, President and CEO of Aging Matters in Brevard, here to talk about my time on Brevard Commission on Aging. It has been an eye-opening experience. We're working with a group of people that are dedicated to the seniors of Brevard. I'm also on the Florida Association of Aging Service Providers. The group is cohesive in nature, and we have a common cause to help provide vital information and help make improvements. I'm not very well versed at the policies and procedures. I'm kind of like more of a bull in a china shop in a lot of cases. Being CEO of 3 years, kind of learning that role, and then going into this role here, we need to bring the issues of the aging population to the forefront. While Kerry was giving you stats there, Aging Matters is really, we look at 60 and above. And you're talking about over 200,000 people in Brevard County that are 60 and above, and that number is growing. So we really need to make a shift in how we think about how we do things in Brevard County. And, food insecurity, affordable housing, and transportation are always at the top of the list. I have waiting lists in every area of my agency, from the home care side to the Meals on Wheels program. So the problems aren't going away, and the funding is just not keeping up. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find solutions to those problems. But also I think that, having more of that audience, that one-on-one with the commissioners, I think is important, and I would love to do that in the future. It's just vital. It's just vital that we come to the forefront. And everybody in here has things they want to talk about and issues, and they're all important. But when you talk about housing, that's a common thing for everybody. But we want to be there. We want to be in that conversation. Food insecurity, again, you have children. You have people of middle age, and then you have seniors. It's all a common problem, but we want to be a part of the conversation. And we want you to be a part of that conversation as well. And I thank you for your time, and I love being here, and I love being a part of that commission. So, thanks.
That's great, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments this morning. Jared Atkins.
Good morning. So I'm Jared Atkins. I am part of the aforementioned oyster that you refer to us as. That's a new one for me, so that's interesting. I wasn't really planning on speaking, but I filled out a card, and then I kind of just put some thoughts together, and so now I'm going to. I'm going to try to keep it under 3 minutes. So I've been on the board less than a year, planning and zoning, of course, the oyster. And I guess I had spoken in front of that board a number of times prior to being appointed to the board. And for that reason, I really value public input, and I think that that's a really important way to sort of gather data that we're otherwise not provided with by engineers, property attorneys, what have you. And I don't particularly like when folks are encouraged not to come up and say their piece. It doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. It does happen. I think that the engineers, the developers make claims that sort of go unchecked, and I think that that's, like I said, where public input, folks that live in these communities see what happens with weather, traffic, and whatnot. I think that that's where their input is needed the most. I do have something real quick here that I'm just going to read only because there's some very specific data that goes along with it. But, okay, Lee County versus Sunbelt Equities, Florida's 2nd District in 1993, had a ruling that held state statute 163.3177, which states that the future land use is a ceiling, not a guarantee, right? So there's no constitutional or Harris Act property right to increase planning allowances. Under Florida law, the purchase of land is generally subject to the existing zoning or environmental restrictions. There's no property right to change them. There's another case that held that, Friedland v. Hollywood, Florida 3rd District, 1961. So future land use not being a property right, that's pretty big. It's treated a lot of times as if it were. I think it's important to note that it's not. Other than that, I enjoy working for the county for free. And I like to think of myself as the pearl in the oyster of the zoning board.
Also the mayor of Scottsmore.
I didn't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's definitely the filter, and I do appreciate it. But sir, if there's a pearl, you're certainly one of them. Okay, very very good. Was there an action item on this, or to receive the reports? Is that what we're?
Yes, Chairman.
Sorry,
It
getting
is
back to
to
the item.
acknowledge receipt of the 2025 County Advisory Board annual written reports and approve requests for excusal from dismissal due to absences for some members.
All right. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I just had a little
got-
discussion. I'm sorry about that.
All right, Commissioner Delaney, I'm sorry.
So I had asked for this to be pulled because I had emailed all of the advisory board members and sent them a list of survey questions, basically like, how's it going? What are your feelings about how the advisory boards are going? And we really had some mixed reviews, which I thought was great. We had, some that had negative, some neutral, and some positive. And I printed out for us all these charts, and it's up on the board. And tomorrow I'll be posting it on my Facebook page for the public. But I just wanted to share that there are definitely some tweaks that I would love to bring forward to our ordinance. Like some of the people had shared before about possible term limits, the frequency of meetings, the time of the meetings. And I understand that there are boards that are more, we have everything from EELS to planning and zoning to personnel council, all these different things. So I know not every board has the same role, but I just really value all of our volunteers' time, and I just want to try to make this the best process possible for them. And another thing that I had seen through my data searches is that not all of the meeting minutes get posted online, and the audio is kind of I guess, burdensome to get sometimes because you have to request it. It's not posted someplace. Only a few of our advisory board meetings are videoed on YouTube. And so I don't know if this is an administrative change or if it's policy change, but if we could figure out a way to get minutes online for people and those audio recordings online somehow for people so that not just the advisory board members that miss a meeting, but also the public who's interested in these different things.
For clarification, audio, for a meeting maybe that doesn't have video, but they brought a voice recorder, so I not every room in our government complexes have video.
Right.
But you can still put that on YouTube, right? You agree?
Yeah.
Even if it's
Definitely.
just a picture of the county seal
Yeah.
or something like that that's on there. So maybe that's worth a discussion when you said you're going to bring some items back in the
Yes.
future. That might be an easy way to do it.
Cool. And then I guess my last question would be, would y'all rather me bring it back as a discussion item to where we could collaborate on all of our ideas? Or do you want me to bring forward like a policy and then we'll tweak it from there?
I suppose if you, bring it forward as agenda item with, how sometimes we see, we've got 5 things in there, and then the commission can go through each one of them and discuss and amend along the way. Is that where you go?
Probably the way to go would be a legislative intent item with just a few general categories of changes that the board might like to see, then the board can discuss it and we can prepare the amendment accordingly.
Thank you. And I did just want to say to everybody who showed up today to speak on your items, thank you so much. And we really appreciate all of your input, your time, effort, energy. I know that everybody has a very busy life and, this is a serious community service. So thank you so much for all of your time.
Any other discussion on the item? Last thing I'll say in discussion is my office, I'm proud of them. They do a good job of filling appointments because I think the worst thing that can happen to the advisory boards is they get together and they don't have a quorum. And that happens. But as much as possible, if we as a commission make the appointments that we need to, that helps prevent that. So I'm very mindful of that. Okay. With that said, is there a motion on the item? I have a motion by Commissioner Atkinson. I have a second by Commissioner Delaney. Clerk will call the roll.
Commissioner Delaney?
Yes.
Vice Chair Goodson?
Yes.
Commissioner Atkinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Altman?
Yes.
Chairman Feltner?
Yes. We'll show that passes 5-0. Commissioners, we're going to move into board report. And so, Mr. County Manager.
Nothing to add except thank you for letting me bring up my report earlier today.
Okay, very good. Morris?
Commissioners, I am requesting that the board approve the scheduling and advertisement of a private attorney-client session to discuss pending litigation. The case is Watersmark Development versus Brevard County, case number 05-2014 CA 41947 in the Circuit Court for the 18th Judicial Circuit. This case has been ongoing since 2014, but it is on a trial calendar now for this December. It looks like it is probably going to trial. The subject matter of the meeting will be confined to strategy related to litigation expenditures and potentially settlement negotiations. I would like to hold the session on Tuesday, November 18, immediately following the board's organizational and regular meeting scheduled for 9 a.m. that day.
Are there any questions on that item? We need a motion, Morris?
Or by consensus is fine. Just
okay.
No one
November
objects.
18th after the meeting. We're going to be here anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Just taking a quick look. I don't have anything else but that.
That's all I have as well.
I'm hearing 2 says calendar's okay. 3 says calendar's okay. Let's say
My estimate of time would be about 30
Okay.
minutes, probably.
Commissioner Altman, sir, you thumbs up on that?
Depends on how long our regular meeting goes.
All right, so I hear one saying they want a short meeting, followed by a closed-door meeting. Okay. Okay, we have a consensus on that? We're good? We're all
Good, thank
Thumbs
you.
up to Morris? Okay, anything else, Morris?
Nothing else
No?
to report, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Delaney.
Thank you. If you wouldn't mind bringing up my slides, Logan, thank you. So obviously, we talked about a lot of this earlier with the flooding. It's one of the things that I've been trying to work on a bit is a relationship with the St. Johns River Water Management. One of the things that I would love any help if any of the board members have relationships there as well is I feel like they need to start looking into the possibility of dredging because I'm concerned that the St. John's, I remember when I was a kid and years prior, you could see the bottom of it. And now there's quite a bit of muck that's in the St. John's taking up water capacity. And a lot of the focus that I've found is that they're dealing with water quality, which is equally as important. But I think that the water capacity is an issue. So that's something that I'm working on. I'm asking that if anybody has relationships there as well, that you wouldn't mind chatting with them about that too. And with our state legislature, I know that a lot of the focus has been on the Indian River Lagoon, and which again is equally as important, but we need some help by the St. John's. The entire region is dumping into the St. John's, and it's ending up in Mims and now Titusville. And so I just wanted to put that into the airwaves of anybody who might be listening to this. I'm open to collaboration and finding a way to move forward with people to, get a plan that obviously we can't stop development, we can't stop improvement and whatnot, but we can do it in a better, smarter way. And this is it's been a rough few days for District 1. And I'm just hopeful for the future that, everybody can come together and we can get a plan going, because our infrastructure is really behind. The federal government, the state government, our commercial partners in space, everybody wants Brevard County to be the gateway to the universe, and we want that too, but we need some help here. We are operating on 1950s infrastructure, and the burden cannot fall on Brevard residents solely. So we need some involvement and help to help get us to a place where we can support these industries that are coming to Brevard County, and we want them here, but we need some help. So I just wanted to share that. Thank
I'll
you.
think of the best person liaison-wise with St. John's for that could come over and meet with you, and you could take them to lunch at Pier 220, right? Something like that? Okay. Think about that. Commissioner Goodson, you have anything today, sir? Commissioner Atkinson.
Just a thank you to all of our emergency staff who spent their weekend doing what they did. Thank you.
Commissioner Altman.
I just wanted to thank staff for that very difficult weekend, and I also wanted to acknowledge the loss of life on the St. Johns River, a tragic death, and I know our emergency responders worked very hard on that incident. I didn't know them personally, but they were friends of our sphere of influence and personal friends, and it was just a tragic accident. Two young, incredible people who lost their lives there. And I think as we move forward, we might really need to take a look at safety on the St. Johns River as we grow as a community and you have more activity there. It's a little bit of the wild, wild west out there, and it's just a sad, sad accident. Just wanted to remember those and pray for those families that were affected.
I also appreciate everybody in Public Works and all of our emergency folks working hard over the weekend. I went out yesterday and tried to help with some of the assessments, taking pictures and going to different locations. So appreciate the staff helping me do that. And I'm technologically behind, so I had to send them a picture, and they attached it to the right system and all of that. I did talk to some neighbors out there, and so I appreciate everybody working together on that. We're going to finish today with Employee Spotlight of Tori Miller in Public Works. And Logan?
My name is Tori Miller. I'm a project supervisor. I've been with Brevard County now for over a year. Road and bridge takes care of a lot. Sidewalks, roadways. We take care of stormwater drainage. What that means for us is continual maintenance of our stormwater ditches and drainage, ensuring that our pipes are clean and clear, which means we send out crews on a routine basis to go out there and clean our ditches, fix anything that has to do with stormwater off of our county roads. We maintain them. I enjoy working with a team. I get to share my experience, all the mistakes that I've made in my career, and then we get a great conversation on how we can improve on my failings. And it resonates a lot more when you're giving someone instruction or you're trying to teach someone something that you've done yourself versus you've never had the opportunity to do yourself. And it's taken a lot better from employees knowing that I'm not just going to tell you how to do it, I can show you how to do it. Knowing that I started from the bottom and worked my way through promotion, but I did have to learn every job aspect that we are doing here. I always encourage anyone looking for an opportunity and unsure about what you want to do. We are always hiring because of the vast opportunity to learn so many different things. We'll train you to learn your job, not just your job. We'll train you and give you the opportunity to learn 10 jobs. Within Brevard County, you don't have to stay with Road and Bridge. You can go to utilities, you can go to Public Works, you can go to mosquito control. The opportunities are pretty much endless within the county. This job is really the best of both worlds. I get the opportunity to not just sit at a desk and take care of things behind the scenes, but also get my hands dirty. Road and Bridge for Brevard County is the place to be. Probably isn't a job better than mine as of right now.
Are you interested in a job like this? Apply today at www.brevardfl.gov.
Good job. And good. And our interns continue to help us put that together, right? In our communications. Thank you for that. All right, everyone. Safe travels home. Appreciate it.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.